happy podcast day, Falcon.
Thank you so much, good Somicron. Good to be here as always.
Mm-hmm. It's good to be here.
Uh,
Mm-hmm. I mean,
remember
I'm
when
always here. This is my house, so
That's true. Thanks for letting me in.
that's right. We actually filmed this on location in my house. Falcon's just in that room over there.
That's where the other computer is. So yeah, it
Exactly.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's true. You can't prove us wrong.
Mm-hmm. That's why I have this background so that you can't tell that I'm in Somicron's house. But I guess we just spoiled it. So
Yeah. Well,
it happens. Suppose it does. Yeah.
Some people like seeing like how the sausage is made. A little
That's
background talk for people.
That is very true.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people are like, take a picture of your setup, Falcon. And I'm like, meh.
It's a computer. Looks like a computer. It's connected to
Yeah.
some monitors. Why do you care?
Yeah. I've got 3 monitors. It's pretty boring. I don't have any like LEDs going. It's just a room, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's weird. All the cool shit like that is on the opposite wall to what my camera is pointing at. I'm really doing this wrong. Like,
Yeah. 100% you're doing this wrong.
Like if my camera was just turned like 90 degrees that way, that'd be my PC and it's a nice new case that it's been rebuilt like 2 or 3 weeks ago. A Titan, all my paints and mini stuff, all this really cool shit. But no, you get a sliding door and like the table I put my keys on when I get home from work.
I mean, honestly, if anybody came in here, they'd be like, man, Somicron's not a gamer at all. He's just, nope. Nothing about that indicates that he's into nerdy stuff. He's just a regular dude.
Yeah.
Probably likes to watch The Office on Netflix in his free time.
I was considering it today, actually, yeah.
Oh. Dang it. I was trying to go for a real normie thing.
No, I think The Office is pretty normie.
It is.
Yeah. So, mission successful.
Yes. Yeah, man, The Office. I don't know. I'm not. We've had this conversation before. I'm not someone to like go back and watch something I've already watched.
Mm-hmm.
Like I watched The Office when it aired. I think I heard about it, got into it in season 2. Did go back and watch season 1, then just kind of watched it weekly from there until it ended.
Mm-hmm.
Back when TV was on TV when it was on TV,
right,
and not on demand all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never once been like, yes, The Office. I should go back and watch some episodes.
No, never.
Like, no. Like, even though there's a bunch of Office subreddits that I just kind of browse into every once in a while on Reddit, and they're like, remember this funny thing? I'm like, that was good. Funny. But I'm like, do I want to go back and watch this? No. You already gave me the funny. Why would I go back?
Right.
Yeah. I think I'm weird, though. I think most people have some kind of an impulse to go back and watch something that they really enjoy.
I would be surprised if it wasn't a majority, but I don't think it's like... I would say it's like 70-30 at most, right? Like, I don't think it's that weird.
Right. No, I'm not saying I'm like the only person in the world who never goes back and watches things. I'm super unique. No, that's not how any of this works.
I didn't suggest that you were. I was simply saying I don't think it's could be classified as weird, right?
Oh, interesting. So if it's a 70-30 split and you're in the 30% of humanity, you can't be considered it weird.
I said 70 at most.
Yeah.
But I think if 30% of the population does something, that's not weird.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Entirely fair. I can agree with that. Anywho, yeah, that reminds me of one of my pet peeves when anybody goes, am I the only one who... And I'm like, no.
Literally,
by definition, you are one of 8 billion humans. You are not the only one who does anything you can possibly conceive of. I'm sorry.
Am I the only person who records the Falcon Paladin Hour on a Tuesday at 11 a.m. from this chair?
Yes.
Okay, well, hyper-specific. Several qualifiers.
It is. And that's the thing. Nobody ever is hyper-specific with it because it sounds dumb if you do it hyper-specifically.
Right.
It's always like, am I the only one who takes off my shoes when I come into the house? And it's like, oh my gosh.
Am I the only one?
Dumbest person in the world?
Am I the only one who puts their shoes on like this? One sock, one shoe. One sock, one shoe. Not sock, shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who puts water on my toothbrush before I put the toothpaste on. It's like, oh my God. Talk to some people. Are you 5 years old? Like, get some experience in the world.
Oh,
Okay. Makes me so mad every time. It's almost as annoying as people that go, "Can I ask you a question?" It's like, yeah,
you
you
just
could have asked the question. Like, who says no? Who, when you, can I ask you a question? Like, no.
I mean, people at work say that. Like my coworkers be like, "Hey, wait, can I ask you a question?" I'm like, "No, no." I mean,
Right, but you're making a point.
right, and they know I'm
Okay.
joking, but yeah, I do answer that
Yeah.
question with no. And sometimes I have like new people have gone, "Oh," and it's taken them a minute, and I'm like, "No, no, no, you can't." I've had to explain it to them. I thought I was being serious. They took it at face value.
Right. It's just, do they think it's polite? Were they raised to ask someone if they can ask them a question because it's a polite thing to do?
I think it's just like a social habit to be like, excuse me, I would like to talk to you, and here's how I'm going to start this conversation by telling you that it's a line of inquiry.
Right.
Uh, I think that's all it is. I don't think too much about it, and I
But
don't think they do either.
I'd
Uh,
feel less angry about it if it was, I'm going to ask you a question. Bam, here's the question.
right.
Right? That'd
Mm,
be informative. It'd be directed, it'd be straight to the point. It'd be a little more than you need, but
mm-hmm.
it is a heads up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know.
It, I mean,
Maybe there is some scenario where it is not okay to ask a question, right? And they're just gonna be like, no, and then they've stuck with that. They've internalized that they have to ask. Like, excuse me, lecturer at college, I would like to ask you a question. He's like, no, wait till the lecture's over.
yeah, and that's scarred them for life.
hmm Also, I wouldn't look at Aki raises the point that less than 1% of the population probably plays StarCraft. Is that weird? I would say no, because StarCraft is a subcategory of video games. So you have to look at the population of people who play video games. That's not weird. And then break down the population of all the people who play what games and find what percentage of people play StarCraft as their only game. That would be weird. And that's probably the pros. And yes, the pros are all weird. But
No, they all play like League and stuff in their off time.
some do, some don't.
No, no,
Some do, some don't.
no StarCraft player on Earth only plays StarCraft.
Or I bet you could find some.
No way. No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Way. Because if, okay, I'm getting the hypotheticals here, but like if you're a professional gamer,
hmm
you love games,
No. You're good at a game.
right?
Those are
But you
two different
can't,
things.
but nobody gets to the level of professional elite gamer who
Mm.
doesn't like games.
I
It's
don't think that.
impossible.
No. No, that's not true.
Okay, so who's the person that's like, yes, with my life, I'd like to spend 16 hours a day playing something that I don't enjoy from day one, mind you,
I
and
mean,
then become elite at it? There's no way.
if Innovation loves StarCraft so much, why does he play like League of Legends? Like, why would they be like, oh, let's go play this other game
Yeah,
semi-professionally as well?
because it's relaxing, because it's easier
Mm.
than StarCraft. It's competitive, but not insanely stressful to the point they want to kill themselves. And it just lets off some steam.
When I was in Melbourne for PAX one year, I met a professional League player who we're in an arcade. Like Twitch was throwing this after party for everyone, um, and they had given everyone these cards at the arcade, and it's just like unlimited credits, go wild, and everyone was just playing whatever. And this guy came up and he was like, "Hey, I see you playing this game. Do you want to see the glitches on how to score infinite points, basically, like to win all of the prizes?" And we're like, "Yes." And we were
What kind of question is that?
right, and we were talking to him, and he doesn't play anything else. He just plays League, and like occasionally while he's at the arcade, he comes down and plays stuff here. But he only
That's
would play League.
that's my argument. That's
But
it.
but
He plays other games.
no,
That's
no,
my entire point.
arcade games are not the same as I sit down at my computer at home and play other games because it's a social event that he does it. He's going out and hanging with people. This was a 4-player table game at an arcade, right? That he was.
Oh, so
It wasn't like the
so
claw
not an
machine.
electronic game
No, it was. It was electronic, but it had 4 players. It was like
like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
no, it was on a flat table, and it was like this fish thing where you had to like collect bubbles and go through hoops and stuff. I don't remember. It was a while ago, but it was a weird game I hadn't seen before.
But it was an electronic
It wa-
video game.
but it wasn't the act of sitting at home playing a video game for yourself. Right? Those are two different
That's
things.
not what I said. I didn't say
I no.
they play a video game by themselves at home other than StarCraft. I said they play other games. They
Mm,
play other video games.
I don't think it's the same thing. I think if you're at home playing a video game for yourself and you're out doing something socially, that like, oh, and we happen to play video games, that's a different thing, right? You're out at the bar and like, oh, I didn't go to the bar to play pool, but someone suggested it. Sure. Those are different levels of things. Like, I don't own a pool table, but I'd play pool. Like,
yeah, that's true. I don't know what the relevance is there, but yes, accurate.
well, some people will play a video game and then not play anything else, but they own the computer to do it because it's their job.
Okay, but again, my whole point is nobody is elite at StarCraft because they sat down and said, I would like to become an elite at StarCraft. I've never played video games before. I don't plan on playing any other games. I'm going to devote myself to only StarCraft and never play another video game for the rest of my life.
Can you tell me right now with 100% certainty that Fruit Dealer is playing Skyrim? He played StarCraft at a high level and then he bamfed out, and you have no idea if he's still playing video games or not.
My initial point, I think, was that current pros, not ones that were professional 15 years ago.
I'm talking about people who played the game at a professional level. I don't care about
my point
when.
wasn't they're going to play video games for the rest of their lives.
Well,
my point was professional gamers who are playing StarCraft 18 hours a day will play other video games.
I don't think pros play 18 hours a day anymore. I think it's been a while since Casper was chaining them to the tables. But
my point is spending a lot of time on StarCraft, like to the point that, right?
I mean, yeah, most pros will spend a lot of time playing the game, right? But I don't think that I don't think you can say with 100% surety that none of them look at it like a job and would just would rather sit down and read a book or watch a movie than play Final Fantasy 16, you know? I don't think every gamer plays a game and then is like, let's relax by also playing a game.
Right. Not every time. I'm sure they read books. I'm sure they go out with friends. Maybe they crochet, right? They've got other interests. They do other things in their lives. But I think other video games are part of that entirety of the rest of their life.
I don't think you can say that about everyone always.
We need to get a tweet out or something.
You can. I don't use Twitter anymore. I'm sorry, I don't use X anymore.
X. Somebody did that on Reddit today. They're like, someone said on X, and all the comments were like, what? What are you? Oh, just say Twitter, you idiot.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's all. I think we just disagree, and we'd have to do some kind of a survey, as Aki says, the Falcon Paladin, our pro StarCraft gamer questionnaire.
Yeah, we'll reach out to all of the pro gamers we don't know.
Right. I mean, they're on X. You can tag them and stuff.
It's true.
I bet if we tagged their organizations, like their team, that the team would be like, "Oh, that's a good idea. It's content. Let's ask them what other video games they play, and they can tweet about it." And the fans will be like,
"Here's the thing. I'm willing to bet that at some point during a B-roll film, like during an ESL at a Cato, that you obviously tuned out when got Waterfall because it was basically player interviews. They've asked, what other video games do you play? I'm 99% sure I've heard that question, and like Rogue or someone's just like, none. I think it was Dark. He's like, I don't play any others. I go hit the gym when I'm done with StarCraft, you know?
Sure.
I can't prove it. I'm just going to say that I'm relatively confident that I've had that experience with StarCraft players.
All right. I mean, I guess I wouldn't be shocked if one player was like, I don't play any other games. I do other stuff. And if I come to my PC for gaming at StarCraft.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I even think like Probe, who, you know, not top tier, he was like, I basically played StarCraft. And then I don't really play any other games. And now I'm doing my masters. And now I've finished that. And he's full-time working now, you know? And he still like came back for a tournament and beat everyone in the country. But that says more about the country than Probe, I think. But he was like, I don't really play a lot of other games. It's kind of just StarCraft.
Hmm.
And maybe he does sit down, like someone recommends, like, oh, you should really sit down and play Doki Doki Literature Club just once.
Yeah.
And, they pick it up and try it. But I don't think, like, you can say 100% all of them are going to be gamers who sit down and play something else for the rest of their
As
lives.
part of their leisure time.
Yeah.
After work is over, when they're done studying for the day at university,
Hmm.
they pick up Castlevania, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
I would be surprised if it was more than like 5% who don't, but I just don't think you can say it about all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess my initial position was all of them,
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
We agree. We came to a consensus. Well done.
Uh-huh. Yep.
All right, good. Let's see. I don't know how we got on that, to be honest with you. Next up.
Pass.
Yeah.
Next up.
Next up, Devil as a Part-Timer is going to be at McDonald's. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on here.
So the tweet you like linked me to, it was just like McDonald's celebrating McDonald's in film and
Yeah.
TV, right? Because
Yeah.
there's like a bunch of just like screenshots.
Yeah. And I linked you to a video they put together
Mm-hmm.
highlighting all the different times that McDonald's products have been featured in anime, TV show,
Mm-hmm.
movies.
I mean, they could have done a lot more of anime. Um,
Yeah?
yeah. So there's I think it's like Tropedia or whatever it is, the trope cataloging website. You can break down real world companies that have been misnamed intentionally in anime. So
Yeah.
in Devil is a Part Timer, McDonald's is like McRonald's or something. And
Yeah, I could see. I think yep, Ma Ronald.
yeah. And I think McDonald's gets like the McRonald and dozens of animes. Like literally tens. Tens doesn't sound like a lot, but
That's a lot. I think that's a lot.
tens would still go into like the 30s, I would say, right? Like,
Yeah.
given that the strength of anime is you can set it anywhere because you don't need to build real sets, you just kind of draw it. The
Yep.
fact that like 30 shows all have people who go to a fast food restaurant and they've opted not to invent a new one, but to rather than like call it McWonald's or something, you know. Oh,
McDonald's. So I'm
yeah.
trying to figure out like what exact cross promotions they're doing here with this as far as stuff in the store. It
Uh-huh.
seems like you can get like a Loki dipping sauce from Marvel. I don't remember McDonald's being in Marvel at any point, but
uh,
there are tweets about people like getting Loki like dipping sauce.
yeah, I have no idea.
I don't either. I'm watching their 1 minute clip here going through it. I don't know what that is.
I'm reasonably confident it's just the clip is just shows and stuff.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just wondering if they referenced oh.
The
The last one they do is Tom Hiddleston. I don't think he's being Loki though.
It's Loki season 2. It's literally just an ad for Loki season 2.
It's future Loki stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is there other stuff? Like the reason I found out about this is because there was somebody posted on Twitter an image of the Devil is a Part-Timer dude being on the automated ordering screen at a McDonald's. But I don't know if they actually did that or if that's just fan idea.
I don't think they did that.
Okay.
Because I mean, maybe as like a promotional thing in Japan, I could see them doing that, but
Right.
I don't think they did it. I think that's photoshopped.
Okay. But if this is all just promotional material for Loki season 2,
Mm-hmm.
and they got all of this footage from like several other media things, why? I don't get it.
I don't know.
I mean, it appears their social media Twitter account is run by a 12-year-old, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Does it really?
It's bad. It's pretty Gen Z.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm
Or
looking
someone
to.
pretending to be 12. I don't know. I think I could pull that off. I think I could pretend to be like an idiot
Yeah.
12-year-old on Twitter. You don't capitalize anything. Say SMH a lot. TBH. Do same a bunch.
No, please, it's Same.
Well,
They
I
just
mean,
say
it's typed, so yes.
they're saying the Japanese word for shock a lot. Same, man. Same.
Oh yeah, no caps unless everything's caps.
Uh, Yelling time. Gross.
Mm-hmm. Hilarious. All right, whatever. I am curious to see if there's anything else they're doing here.
I mean, I'm looking, but uh,
It's literally just season 2 of Loki promotional material. Huh.
yeah, yep.
Disappointing. Don't like it.
McDonald's as featured in meal items availability and all you need to know. So there's going to be Loki sauce.
Oh. If there's not a Royale with cheese from Pulp Fiction, I'm gonna be mad.
I I mean, I suppose it's a big departure from McDonald's, who used to just be like, we advertise to kids with a clown, to be like, go and watch Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Those are two different things. And there should be. I feel like they should rename it to everything to a Royale with cheese, like everywhere,
Yeah.
not just in France or wherever the joke is from. Just show me, like, where is it actually available? Like,
Yeah, I've been digging, man. I'm trying to figure out, but again, the person running the social media campaign is 12, so information is hard to come by.
just too much. The chain revealed a limited time experience with fan this week through an August 9th press release. Blah 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 blah. Where? Tell me where. Quarter pounder with cheese, 10-piece chicken nuggets, and a Big Mac sandwich. Who calls a Big Mac a sandwich?
Not me.
Mm.
So it's sweet and sour sauce and it's green, so it's Loki. This is the like weakest marketing tie-in I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, even McDonald's had like BTS sauces, and they were a unique flavor, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. That's way more effort than this. This is just a Big Mac combo meal with sweet and sour sauce that they put the word Loki on.
Yeah.
Oh, someone should get fired for this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It did make me think about Loki, though.
Yeah, apparently I remember a story about a guy who worked for R&D for McDonald's in Canada, who was paid like $3 million over 4 years, and what he came up with was the chicken Big Mac, and he just swapped out the beef patties in a Big Mac for chicken, and like that was, they consider that successful job done, new item on the menu, limited time event or something, and it was great.
Like every pothead has had that idea at one point in their lives.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm surprised that the just the self-service machines at a McDonald's aren't doing the like, what item should we recommend, like should we sell anyway, because everyone will go in there and just be like, yep, customize, remove the lettuce, add the cheese, add an extra bacon, and be like, okay, well, let's just look at how many times the same combination gets custom made and then put that on the menu, right? Like I feel like that would work incredibly well.
Yep. I think it's a great idea. Hire Somicron to work for McDonald's marketing. You can do a better job than whoever else is there right now.
$2 million one-time contract, but I'll make you some great food.
Yes.
Ideas.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually ran into an example of that in real life at a restaurant we went to for a work thing last week.
Oh, yeah?
Where what did they do? Their drink offerings. Like they got rid of root beer and they added Coke Zero when they already had Diet Coke.
Okay.
Just because the waiters reported that the demand for Coke Zero was like way up there and like barely anybody was bothering to order the root beer.
Interesting. Yeah. I still feel like I would have swapped the Diet Coke for Coke Zero and kept root beer.
Apparently, the number of people still ordering Diet Coke was high enough they didn't do that.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, and I know people who are Diet Coke fans who do not like Coke Zero. So, I don't know, maybe they'll all die one day, but for now.
Maybe.
It was intended to replace it, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Coke had enough of a marketing blitz and enough like Coke Zero's the new thing, do it. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean the result was you'd think the result would be either it flops or it
Mm.
really takes off and totally eclipses Diet Coke. But
Mm-hmm.
instead it was just wildly successful, but so was Diet Coke. And they were like, okay,
I guess we
I
have
don't
two
think we
products now.
yeah, we didn't project this, but all right, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very weird problem to have. I mean, I guess it's, I don't know. I'm wondering if overall Coca-Cola sales went up after Coke
Probably.
Zero took
It
off.
it would not surprise me. I mean, Coca-Cola reportedly don't measure their profits in dollars. They do it with the percentage of the world's hydration that they supply.
Well, that's not
So,
the most dystopian thing I've ever heard. Okay.
hmm fun fact for you. So
Yeah.
when that number went up, I guess they just kept at it.
Wow.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I don't know. We'd have to do some research on this, but I imagine their overall sales number bumped up enough. And the Diet Coke numbers didn't go down enough for them to discontinue it, that they just kept both. That was probably
Mm,
it.
yeah.
Anyway. Anyway. Yeah, let's talk about corporations. That's what people are here on this podcast for.
hmm Absolutely.
No, they're here for our Baldur's Gate chats. That's what they want.
Man, I keep getting surprised by that game.
I know, me too.
Like, I found stuff that we missed in the Blighted Village.
What? We were
Yeah.
there like 10 times.
And we missed stuff. We need to go back when we go to play.
Okay.
So stuff keeps popping up, and I'm like, okay, this is crazy. And then I keep also being surprised by the decisions I make. Sometimes I'm just like, let's see where this goes, and I'll quick load and do it again if I have to. But
Yeah.
sometimes it doesn't go the way I intend, and it's great. And I'm like, this is fucking wild, and I love it. Because
Like,
I don't want
name a
to.
thing.
Okay, so you know the mysterious object that Shadowheart plucked from the ship.
Yes. Like heads up play by her, by the way. Like really major effects to the plot there.
Yeah. Have you gotten to the Githyanki crash?
No.
Okay, so when you get there, you learn a lot about what that object is because they're
Well,
looking
and
for it.
yeah, and they consider it a Githyanki relic from like ages and ages ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. And
And
I'm
so,
curious about that. So yeah.
and so I got there and I was like, man, I don't like the Githyanki. They're Klingons. I think that's stupid.
Right.
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 And I was just like, all right, let's go in there, see if there's like a trader got any good loot, trade, and then kill everyone. Right.
Yep. Classic.
Instead, I found myself giving them the relic because I sat down, I thought about it. I'm like, what do I really know about this?
Yeah.
Right?
Good question. It really is.
Like, I like Shadowheart, and she's kind of attached to it. So I've been kind of, playing on the safe side of keeping my friendship with her. But what do I really know about this thing? What do I really care if the Githyanki want it?
Can we back it up a little bit?
Yeah.
Didn't she say she has a sacred mission to get that object to Baldur's Gate?
I don't think so.
I had that conversation with her. It might have been in my playthrough.
Maybe now that she's found the thing, she's like, oh, I need to get this thing to Baldur's Gate. The other Sharians will know what this is.
Right. But the way she presented it and the way I interpreted that conversation was not, I found this weird thing. My boss probably wants to see this. It was, I need to get to Baldur's Gate. I've been tasked with this quest.
Okay.
And she says part of my memories have been removed.
Mm-hmm.
As part of this quest, and it'll be restored when I return.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes no sense to me that she just picked it up off the ship. Maybe she somehow managed to intentionally get abducted because her bosses knew the relic was on this ship and her job was to steal it. That's crazy.
Or maybe she already had it and then got abducted, and the Gith and the mind flayers like took it off her when they found her, and then when she escaped, she just grabbed it back, right?
Maybe. Or maybe one of the dragon riders had it and it fell out of their pouch.
I think that's less likely. Uh,
Yeah, there are some big questions about this thing for obvious reasons. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts.
I started a new game just to see how the like opening changes when you play as like Lae'zel, because you can just take her as your main character.
Right.
And when you're in the Mind Flayer pod and you get out and then you go, the opening cutscene where like Lae'zel would normally like ambush the player?
Yeah.
That's another Githyanki. They still have that scene.
They've just... So when they say this game took 23 years, I think the vast majority of it was plot planning and voice line recording.
So
I think they just spent 2 decades doing just branching all of the billions of potential outcomes for every choice you make, and then recording every voice line for all of those. And then they sat down and they did like the combat system and graphics and stuff.
It's possible. I heard that there's like 174 hours of cutscenes in the game.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. And that the last like 6 months or something, or no, maybe it wasn't the last 6 months, but there was a 6 month period where the writers were just working on the ways in which the game can end. And there are over 17,000 permutations of endings.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know how many unique strictly. Like, does it count if I was wielding a short sword instead of a great sword? That is technically a different permutation, but I don't know that that's what they're getting at.
No, I don't think that's what they mean. I think state of the world and state of your relationship with characters. I think those are the differences that I think that they would be referring to there.
Right. That's
or maybe the state of your character too, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you turn into a mind flayer. That's an ending.
That is an ending, yes.
Yeah.
Because I think I've already got the potential to basically end the game where I'm at now, because speedrunners have found a 10-minute speedrun to finish the game, which involves having Gale basically commit suicide as the player, as like the main character. If you take him, you can have him commit suicide, and that basically just credits roll, you did it.
Yeah. Somebody posted in other video games that there's a 10-minute speedrun that involves something along those lines.
That's exactly
the one?
That's the one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
that's funny.
You don't run Gale, so you don't see much of his stuff, do you?
I don't run him. No. I mean, I'm still go back to camp and he needs to talk to me every freaking time. That guy. And he's so wordy too.
He's great. I love him.
That's part of why I like Lae'zel. Like, I don't love her, but she's like
to the point.
Direct to the point. She's awesome for that. Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, so his magic orb that's like stuck in his chest or whatever that needs to be fed with magic can explode. He's like, look, I need to tell you guys that I'm a walking tactical nuke. I might level water deep one day. So minor spoilers for him, I suppose. But Mistra, the goddess that he was like bedding, he was allegedly, he gets tasked with like killing the Absolute by her. She's like, look, I can kind of offer you redemption for trying to like one up me and prove to me how sick of a wizard you are. If you go and detonate yourself where the Absolute is, that'll kill it, but it'll also kill you. That's the redemption I offer you. And so that's what the speedrun is. Just play as Gale, run to the Absolute, detonate.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense.
And so now my Gale is running around and I'm like, hey, what's this ability? And then it starts a cutscene where he's like plunging a knife into his own chest and the screen just goes black and I'm like, oh, quick load, what's going on?
What did I do?
I thought I'd equipped him with something that gave him an ability, because I've got a ton of magical gear that all gives these sick abilities now. And I'm like, oh, I can cast this and that, and this legendary weapon can cast 6 level spells. I'm like, wow, that's cool. Hey, what's this button do? Mushroom.
Where were you when that happened? Like in the middle of nowhere?
I was in the Gith crash. Yeah.
Well, at least you killed the Githyanki. You hate those guys.
Yeah, I killed myself at the same time.
Githyanki?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh yeah, no, obviously you killed yourself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's so good. That's so good.
So good.
Yeah, so much stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just had an event where we get ambushed, which happens in the game.
Mm-hmm.
A character gets defeated, and then
Mm-hmm.
something really, really, really bad happens.
Okay.
But the game lets you play through it.
Okay.
And I'm like, but even if I win the rest of this fight, I'm pretty sure I'm dead anyway based on what just happened here.
So what happened?
I lost the fight, and I'm like, maybe are you intended to lose the fight? I'm trying not to spoil this.
I mean, how
But
big of a spoiler is it?
I don't know. You know, have you been to the Last Hope Inn at all?
I just got there.
Okay. So, quick spoiler alert. I don't think it's a huge deal. And I don't think it's supposed to happen anyway. But there's this cleric who's created a barrier to the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's why everybody in the inn isn't getting corrupted, because she's awesome. She just puts a bubble around this inn.
Mm-hmm.
This dude shows up and tries to kidnap her. And there's a fight where you can stop him.
Yeah.
And apparently, if he takes her HP down low enough, he kidnaps her.
Okay.
Even if the rest of my party's fine, we just have to like stand there and watch him leave with her. So the bubble goes down.
Mm-hmm.
All of the people turn into demons and you have to fight them, but you're outnumbered like 30-1.
You can flee.
Okay.
That is a thing you can do in the combat. In the bottom right hand corner,
I know. I've fled before.
You have.
I know how to do it. I've been in fights before. I'm like, I don't want. This is not going well. I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering, is that a game over? Kind of. I mean, how much do the people? Because like there are important people. It seems like there's important people to the story at the end. So, there's the dude who can fix Karlach, and he gets corrupted and turned into a demon that you can't fix.
He's not at the end.
In my playthrough, he certainly is. That's another thing about this game.
Maybe I just haven't explored it enough, because I basically walked in and was like, hey, who's this unconscious guy on a bed? And let me talk to that cat, you know?
Yeah, of course. I talked to the cat too. He's out in the stable combo blacksmith. For some reason, it's the same thing. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Again, this might be different because the refugees from my playthrough from the Grove.
Yeah.
For some reason, their plan was to go through the Underdark to wherever they were headed.
The Underdark?
I don't know. Whatever the lands are. The lands that have been corrupted by the shadows. Where the
Shadowland. They were going to take the Risen Road. Or the Mountain Pass or whatever it's called. Okay, they didn't... You can get there without going through the Underdark.
Okay, so they were going through the Shadow Forsaken Cursed Lands because...
They have to.
I guess?
That's the way to Baldur's Gate.
They had no choice? Yeah. Okay. Like, there's no wizards who can teleport you there? Like, there's magic in this world.
There were none in the Grove.
I guess not. Okay, so they're on their way to the Last Hope, Last Light Inn. They get ambushed. A bunch of them get kidnapped or killed.
Yep.
And the blacksmith who was at the Grove was part of that group that made it to the inn.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's different options. You can help the goblins kill everybody in the Grove if you want. You can. I mean, there's all sorts of different ways that that blacksmith would not be at the inn. My playthrough, he was, and so he corrupts. He attacks you. You kill him, and then the quest thing's like, quest complete. He's dead. You can't do anything else with this. Bye. The game's brutal.
Yeah. So that is a chain you can go down for the story. Obviously, that cuts off a lot of stuff for like Karlach and her infernal engine that's in her chest.
And the like super awesome druid lady who wants to kill you when you first show up.
God, I was annoyed by her because she uses like twisting vines or something to hold you in place, and I'm like, I got boots that prevent that though. I can't be held in place.
I very specifically have a magic item that prevents this.
Yeah.
So they didn't account for everything. That would
Mhm.
be funny though. Like
Yeah.
if player has these boots on, then have the druid try it and be like, "Hey, what? What has happened here?"
There's also something that I really wanted to do, which is when you meet the Harpers, they
Mm-hmm.
like come out with like your hands up
Oh
or whatever,
God.
unarmed,
Yeah.
and I'm using a glaive, or I think it's a pike, but it's invisible. And so
Oh,
I want to be able to walk out with my weapon drawn, but they can't see it.
right.
But you don't
You
have that
think that would
option.
work? I don't think that would work. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Man, the Harpers. Ever since I've met them,
Hmm.
every time I'm involved in a combat option with them, they die. Like every one of them dies. Like, okay, so if I was the Harpers, I'd be like, we keep sending you out to fight with our people. You keep running into our people out there and they all die and you live. What's going on here?
I mean, in my first encounter with them, and like Jonas or whoever it is doesn't have his own torch like an idiot.
Right.
Um,
Right. He gets
uh,
sucked into the darkness because he doesn't have a torch.
Everyone was like fighting the Shadow Curse demon things, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I've taken some HP. They've taken some HP. I'm just gonna cast Mass Cure Wounds and heal up everyone. They didn't count as allies, so they didn't get the
Right.
healing. I'm like,
Right.
and like another one of them died. I'm like, why? Just like we're clearly all fighting the same enemy at the moment. Just
Yeah. It makes it feel like the story intends for them to die.
yes.
If you can't help them, then yeah, I mean, maybe give them more HP if you want them to live, because some of those dudes are real squishy, like 18 HP guys, and it's like,
Yeah.
so this isn't going well. I
Hmm.
run into a boss in the Shadow Cursed Lands where a boss with a bunch of other minions, and it's my party and a bunch of Harpers. The Harpers all die again, and
Hmm.
then my whole party dies, and it's Lazelle versus the boss by herself when the boss is at 50% health.
Oh yeah.
And she wins. And I was like, dang, she's pretty good. I did have a couple items I gave her that are pretty amazing. I got from the Underdark.
Hmm.
So that helped a lot. But
Oh yeah.
still, I was just like, dang,
Hmm.
you tough.
You can find a ton of magical items that really buff a lot of the players or a lot of
Yeah.
characters, I should say. Like I've got one that gives 8 temporary HP whenever Shadowheart is concentrating on a spell.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and since she's my guidance uh, carrier, every time I'm in a conversation, I'm always like, "What is this buff?" Oh, she's getting her HP because she's casting guidance on me while I pick locks. You know, any
Thanks.
conversation plus HP. Like, oh, that's neat.
Yeah, that's
Um,
pretty strong.
I did find the boss you were talking about that has like 8 resistances and immunities that you have to kill with the.
Yep. The environmental method, yes.
Yes. I didn't realize what the environmental method was and got it
Mm-hmm.
down to a third of its HP just by bashing away at it.
Nice.
It was hard. It sucked.
With what? It's immune to like 40 billion different things.
Um, so you can use spells to knock it prone, and then Shadowheart has clubs and maces, which are bludgeoning damage. And while it's superheated, it is vulnerable, so it takes double damage from them.
Oh.
So it's
So you
possible.
knock it down and you club
A
it.
little bit, yes.
Hmm. Okay. I mean, he didn't win, but
No, I didn't win. And then I did I looked up the guide and I'm like, oh, that's way easier. Yeah. And I beat it
right.
in like 4 turns, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just here's this really fun idea we had for a boss fight. Prepare
Hmm.
for it the way we want you to. Do it the way we want you to, and won't be too bad.
Right. But there's a ton of that in games in general. Like,
Yeah, but it's Baldur's Gate. I'm supposed to be able to do what I want.
right. Well, you can absolutely do what you want. But if you stumble across a level 8 golem when you're level 5 or 6, I don't know, maybe look at the environment for help.
I guess.
I mean, I would love to play the game again, leave that boss until I'm like level 12, and go back and see if you can just punch it to death. Because
Hmm.
I bet you can.
I bet you can.
Yeah.
Pick up a tree branch,
Yeah, maybe.
beat it to death that way.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, I don't know if you saw my comments in other video games, but somehow my character is in a romantic relationship with Gale and Will, and I don't want her to be in a relationship with Will or Gil.
Uh-huh. So what you do to get out of both of those relationships is you start one with Kalash.
But I don't want to do that either. You
Okay.
see, it's
Then
just
Lae'zel.
again, don't want to do that.
What
The
about Shadowheart?
nope. Um,
Halsin?
Halsin. She wants Halsin.
Okay, so you want to burn down with Halsin.
Yeah, but eventually, because I talked with him and he's like, I got to focus on my work right now, but probably later. And I'm like, all right, let's go.
So you're specifically looking for the bear scene, aren't you?
Oh, was I? I just think Halsin's amazing. He's great.
Really? What do you think's so
Yeah.
good about Halsin?
I don't know. He's got a lot of like honor and he cares about other people and the way he dealt with that one
Kagar?
upstart druid who like took over when he was gone, I thought was cool.
Okay.
Fine. And again, I thought he'd be able to be a part of our party, but no. He's
Nope.
like, I'll help you as much as I can. I'm like, cool. He's like, what I mean by that is I'll stand in your camp.
And eat your food.
Yeah. Thanks, Halsin.
I think the end of day full rest mechanic that should change, like how much food you need to supply based on how many people there are. Because if like Halsin and Volar and the owlbear are all there, that's more food than if it's just me and Will, you know?
That's a great point. They should account for that.
Doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Also, the auto select is so broken. I hit auto select on food and it was like, here's 73 food out of 40. I'm like, why?
That's not auto selecting at all. Like overcompensating.
Because it auto selects the full stack. So if everything you have is in a stack, it's like, okay, this thing's only worth 3, but there's 10 of them, so that's 30.
It doesn't know how to split off.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And funny and bad.
Mhm.
Aki asked, do you have to be in a relationship? No. But
Yes.
here's what happens. I go and talk to Gale about something unrelated. And then he's like, hey, do some magic with me. And I'm like, okay. And we do some magic together. And at the end of it, he's like, we love each other now. And I'm like, no, Gale. At no point did I choose I love you. I'm sorry. I don't know how this happened exactly.
I've done that scene, and I think at the end of it, there's an option that is subtly less "let's be in love" than the other one.
Right.
And so if you don't read hyper specific nuance written in the fine print, you're going to be in love with Gale. The magic he has you do is actually charm person.
Oh, interesting.
It's not. It's minor illusion, I think.
But,
okay.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, fine. We did some magic together. There was some bonding that happened. That's normal stuff. But it doesn't mean we're in love. And then Will, like, he's just like, I wander around the camp. He's dancing because that's, he's been in court and he's done all the like fancy people dancing stuff. So he's just dancing alone. And then he's like, come dance with me. And I'm like, okay, that sounds fun. And then like that turns into like, now we're in love. And I'm like, okay. So what you're saying is don't interact with the members of your party unless you want to fall in love with them.
There's no such thing as a platonic relationship with these people.
I guess not. Friggin' Larian doesn't understand the concept. So yeah, so what I'm thinking I need to do is like go to Will and somehow be like, hey, specifically what happened was we danced together. He kind of looks like he wants to kiss me, and the options are kiss him back, kind of wait, see what he'll do, and like bail. And I was like, it's kind of rude to be like, rah, I'm out. Like you're giving off creepo vibes. And I didn't want to kiss him.
So you just waited.
So I was like, wait to see what he'll do, and he kisses you, but then you kiss him back. And I'm like, that is not what I said. I did not say wait for him to kiss me and then kiss him back. I said wait to see what he'll do.
He looked at you with lust in his eyes, and you're standing there, clearly constituted consent. And really, it was what you were wearing that said it.
I was asking for it.
Yeah.
This argument is gross.
Incredibly. But I think if you want to be like, even thanks but no thanks, you've got to be like, bail, dude.
Like, yeah, no, I understand that now. That's what the game wanted me to do, was like, you're creeping me out. Oof. Anyway, so that's how apparently I'm in love with both of them. Gale brings it up. Like the next
Okay.
day after I do the thing with Will, he's like, "Hey, I know you're in love with Will now, and you can't be with both of us. You got to choose one, you hussy." And I was like, I don't. And the options were like, choose Gale, choose Will. I'm like, I don't choose either of them.
So it didn't give you an option for neither at that point?
So I said, leave. And I leave. And she goes, oh, you're a cold hearted one. And I'm like,
So the
it's
next
a mess.
solution to this is just to kick them out of your like out of the camp. Just be like, I think we should adventure separately. That's what you got to do. Kick them both out.
Insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a total mess. I need to figure this out because my character is in it for Halson and he won't do anything until after you do Moonrise Tower, apparently.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
Anyway, it was very funny when Gale was like, "You got to choose one of us," and I'm like, "That's
Do I
you
though?
seem more like an open relationship kind of a guy, Gale. It seems out
No,
of character for you."
it's Asterion who's the open relationship guy.
That's a
Uh,
fair point.
when I got to the Moon Tower, not the Moon, the Last Hope Inn, the little tiefling girl was playing chess with Raphael, the devil.
Satan,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I was so
Um,
mad. I was like, "You raging asshole!" She's like 10.
yeah.
Yeah,
And he makes an excellent point, like a very like, oh, she's still free to choose the only viable option she has left. I'm like, fuck you.
right,
I get what you're saying.
right.
But
Oh,
I assume you didn't have Asterion in that conversation because you
he did
don't
not.
did not. So
Like everyone,
Asterian's actually like, hey, I had an idea with you, Raphael. I wanted to make a deal. I'm like, what?
oh.
What?
They're
What
like,
is
we did
this?
not go over this beforehand, Asterion. You are still a member of my party.
Right. But Asterian's like, yeah, so somebody carved a bunch of runes in my back. And I'm like, what? I haven't heard of this. And Raphael's
Yeah.
like, oh, you've been keeping your clothes on. How very unlike you, Asterian.
You man whore.
So, and I think in the game, there's actually an achievement for being rejected by Asterion. Like, that's the notable thing. Get him to
Ooh,
reject you.
that's funny. I like that a lot. Asterian's not
Mhm.
even trying with me. Like when
No?
he talks to me, he's just like, the last conversation we had, he's all, hey, so when we show up at the absolute source of power, instead of destroying it, what if we take it for ourselves? And I'm like, dude, you are one of a kind, Asterion. You really are.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's interesting. He's definitely kind of interesting to talk to, but I kind of hate him.
Hmm. Hmm. I
I
just keep him
still think he
around
should. Yeah.
for for lockpicking.
Yeah. No, that's entirely fair. He's amazing at lockpicking.
Hmm. I
He
gave
should
him some.
be.
I gave him some armor that gives him advantage on all dexterity checks. So lockpicking and lock disarming has advantage, and a measly +13 with guidance.
Good grief. Well, I mean, he's like hundreds of years old, right? You better hope he's good at lockpicking. Got a lot of practice.
Yeah, maybe.
Sheesh.
Ugh.
That's so funny.
Mhm.
Anyway, it's great. Baldur's Gate 3, highly, highly recommended. Very fun.
Mhm. Thoroughly enjoying it.
Without a doubt.
Mm-hmm. Is that it? Do we want to?
Yeah, I think that's all I got. We should play some Baldur's Gate 3.
We should go play some Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, cool. Well, that was fun. And that's going to be it from us. This has been Falcon Paladin and Somicron coming at you with yet another edition of the Falcon Paladin Hour, where we discussed anime, Baldur's Gate 3,
McDonald's.
McDonald's, StarCraft 2 Professionals, leisure habits,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and other things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, broadcast live at twitch.tv/Somicron and also put out at youtube.com/@Somicron. The VODs end up there too.
Mm-hmm.
If
It's
you want to
true.
support the podcast directly, you can at falconpaladin.store by buying a merch or at patreon.com/falcon/somicron.
Oh,
Ooh,
trying
we
to.
got there. We
Yeah.
got there. But yeah, thanks again for listening or watching Bovine Slime. Yeah. Stick around. We'll do some Baldur's Gate next. But yeah, until next pod, take care of yourselves and stick around if you want to watch us play some games.
Bye.
Bye.